Now, as you are familiar that the reason behind the chemical combination is the octet rule, that is according to the Lewis, right. So, Lewis actually just gave the method to just to show that how we can write the structure. So, he just explained certain rules in order to write the Lewis structure. So, the first rule was that determine the total number of valence electron. So, the first thing is that we need to find, like suppose I have a molecule, I will explain you with an example. Suppose I have a molecule NF3, right. So, the first rule states that you need to find total number of valence electrons. So, in case of nitrogen we know that valence electron is 5, and in case of fluorine it is 7, but there are 3 fluorines, it comes out to be 5 plus 21, that is 26. So, how many valence electrons we have? We have 26 valence electrons. Next is that if there is certain anion, you need to add equal number of electrons. For example, if I say I have this phosphate ion, so as you can see that it contains a negative charge. So, when you are counting the total number of valence electron, you need to add this much electrons to it. But if it is the charge is positive, you need to subtract this given amount of electrons from their valence electron. So, like in this case, we have taken an example of NF3, which is a neutral molecule. So, there is no need to add or subtract any electrons. But if in case it is a radical or it is a ion, then you need to, like if it is a negatively charged particle, then you need to add the required number of electrons, and if it is positively charged, you need to subtract equal number of electrons, right. Next is that you need to figure out that how many octet electrons the molecule should have. That means we want to know that how many electrons actually they want to have. You know that we need, like in this case N and F, they both need 8 electrons because they have to complete their octet. So, but what they possess actually, nitrogen has 5, so it needs 3 electrons, fluorine has 7, so it needs 1 electron. And by gaining these electrons, respective electrons, they will be attaining the stable noble gas configuration. They will be, you can say they will be attaining an octet. Next is that we need to arrange in atoms now, and we have to arrange in such a way that the central atom occupies the central position. So, in this, which is the central atom? Obviously, it is a N1, and it is surrounded by the surrounding atoms. So, we just surround it with it. Then we know that minimum shared pair will be 1. So, we will just draw, we will just join them with single bond. Right. So, how many electrons we have taken out? 2, 4 and 6. These means 6 are the minimum electrons which will be participating in the bond formation. So, what I will do? I will subtract 6 electrons out of these total electrons. So, I am left with 20 electrons. Next is that we need to complete the octets now. Right. So, first we will start with the octet completion with the central atom. So, as you can see that nitrogen already has now 2, 4 and 6 electrons. It is left with 2 electrons. So, what I will do? I will put 2 electrons here. So, we will minus 2 electrons. We are left with 18 electrons now. That means now we have 18 electrons, and we need to arrange these electrons in such a way that the octet of all fluorine gets completed. So, let us complete an octet of first fluorine. So, it is 2, already it has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, how many electrons I have used? 6. So, what I am going to do? I am going to subtract 6 from 18. So, we are left with 12. Again, we will be stabilizing the second fluorine. 2 it already has, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, we will be subtracting 6. We are left with again 6, and 6 is being utilized in stabilizing this fluorine. So, this is my Lewis structure. This is something my Lewis structure. Likewise, I will explain you with one more example. Suppose I have H2O. So, in this my central atom is obviously O, and we are going to surround it with hydrogen. Second step is that we are just now going to calculate the valence electrons. So, hydrogen has 1 valence electron, but there are 2 hydrogens. So, it is 1 into 2 plus oxygen has 6. So, overall it comes out to be 8. So, we have 8 total number of valence electrons. Now, we are going to join them. We know that the minimum of the single bond must be present between them. So, we will just join it. So, how many electrons we have used? 2 and 2, 4. We are left with 4. So when we just now try to see that whether the octet or duplet is complete or not, so you can see that hydrogen, you know that the hydrogen obeys a duplet rule. So it has already acquired 2 electrons in outermost shell, that means it doesn't need more electrons. But so this is stable, but oxygen is not stable, it has only 4 electrons. We need to stable it by putting 4 electrons. And when we put 4 electrons, we are left with 0. So this is my Lewis structure for water. So likewise, you will be drawing different Lewis structures for different molecules, and you will get to know that like you will be using these rules actually. So what you do, just go through these rules first, then try to just figure out these structures by using the same phenomena as I told you. Now, when you know that how to draw a Lewis structure, second thing is that we need to find the formal charge. We need to find the formal charge. As far as you have seen, like I wrote that PO4 3 negative. So this 3 negative is a charge on this whole molecule, right? But now after writing the Lewis structure, we are looking for the formal charge on the ion. That means formal charge on a particular atom, I mean to say. So we have a rule, certain formula which will be used in this, in which we are going to calculate the formal charge present on an atom. And what is the formula actually? It is valence electrons minus non-bonding electrons minus half into bonding electrons. So now let's see that what are valence electrons. You know that what are valence electrons. Valence electrons are the electrons that an atom actually possesses. Second is non-bonding electron. Suppose I'll tell you with an example. Suppose I take this case. So in this case, if I consider oxygen, I need to find charge on the oxygen. So my valence electron is going to be 6, obviously, right? But when I talk of non-bonding electrons, so I can see in this structure that these two electrons have not taken participation in the bond formation. So that means these are something my non-bonded electrons. So the value of this I am going to put here, right? And my bonded electron is something which it has used in making bond, this and this. So likewise we are going to find the charge. So let us what we'll do, I'll just try to find the charge on the water molecule. So this is my water molecule, as I've already told you that how to show it. Now see, let us say that this is our first hydrogen, this is our oxygen, and this is our another hydrogen, right? So let us calculate the charge on atom 1, that is on hydrogen, this. So we know valence electron is 1, non-bonded electron is, no non-bonded electron 0, bonded electron is 2, so it comes out to be 1. Plus 1. So that means it possesses a charge that is plus 1. Now let us find the same thing for the oxygen. So formal charge is equal to valence electron. We know that oxygen possesses valence electron 6 minus non-bonded 2 and 2 4 minus half into bonded 2 and 2 again 4. So when I'll solve it, what I'll get? 0. So it possesses no charge. Now let's talk for the third hydrogen, because we can see that similar bonding has taken place. So again its charge is plus 1. So likewise you will be solving, you will be able to solve the formal charge for each atom, right, by using the same formula. You know that actually what is the use, that why we are looking for this formal charge, because this formal charge actually help us in selecting the structure which has the lowest energy and the maximum stability, because lesser the formal charge it will have, lesser the magnitude of charge it will have, more stable it is going to be. So likewise when we draw a different kind of Lewis structure and we try to find the formal charge, we get to know that which structure is the stable one which is going to exist in a real state. Right. So this is what is the formal charge. Now Lewis has tried almost his hand in everything, like he explained that only the valence electron participates. He told you that how to represent those valence electrons. He actually told you how to make an ionic bond, how to make a covalent bond, why we are doing this bond formation, and how to calculate the formal charge. He also tried to give the Lewis structures, right, for the polyatomic ions. So but there are still certain drawbacks which are left, which could not be covered by the Lewis. So let us focus on that what were the drawbacks of that octet rule. So the first drawback was that it was not universally accepted. It was not universally accepted. Second is that we could see it, like for certain molecules, what we could see that there are certain molecules in which the central atom hasn't attained the octet. Like for example, we have BF3. when you draw the structure for BF3, so let us draw it first. So in this, what happens, the structure is like this. So we see that fluorine actually acquired the electron which we needed actually, but the boron has 6 electrons in its outermost shell. That means its octet is not complete. So that means there we get to see, likewise we have an example AlCl3. So in these cases what we get to see that in them the central atom hasn't acquired the octet. That means it doesn't have 8 electrons in its outermost shell. And according to the octet rule, the atom when it's combining, so after combination it should possess the 8 electrons. But we could see that there are certain molecules which do not possess the octet. Particularly we are talking about the central atom. Likewise, when we went through like different molecules, we saw that there are certain molecules in which the central atom is acquiring more than 8 electrons. That means it is exceeding the octet. Like I have an example, SF6, IF7, PCl5. So in these cases, as you can see, there is a sulfur. So sulfur is attached to actually 6 fluorines. Likewise. So 6 fluorine means 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. It has 12 electrons. So as you know that according to the octet, the central atom or any other atom need only 8 electron to get stabilized, because according to Lewis, the cube has only 8 corners, right? So how could it accommodate, how it's possible that it can accommodate the 12 electrons? So this could not be explained by the octet rule. Likewise, when he stated that octet is the reason behind the combination, this is what he stated. So what happened when he stated that, so we saw in the periodic table that there was an 18 group that was noble gases, they all had 8 electrons in its outermost shell. So that means there is no need for them to combine with some other atom because their octet is complete, because we know that any atom is combining with some other atom, the reason behind that is to achieve the octet, right? This is the given reason. But in case of noble gases, they possess the 8 electrons. So although they possess the 8 electrons, but still there are 2 noble gases like xenon and krypton. You know that we get to see their compounds also. That means they are also combining with some other atoms. So what is the reason behind? Right, so octet rule actually failed to explain that. Right. So another thing is that it just failed in giving the shape of the molecules. It doesn't reveal anything about the shape. He just told you that just write a central atom, surround it with the other atoms in any format. Right. So it doesn't give any shape, but in later stages you will come to know from different theories that each molecule is going to possess the definite shape. Right. Likewise, it failed to explain the stability of molecule, relative stability of molecule depending upon the energy. So likewise, we can say that the octet rule suffered major drawbacks because it couldn't explain many phenomena, because like see, if somebody is giving you any theory or any rule, so there should not be any exceptional case. It may happen that it possess 1 or 2 exceptional case, but there we get to see so many things like noble gases are combining. There are certain molecules in which they have expanded octet. There are molecules in which the central atom is possessing electrons less than the octet. So how come so many drawbacks can be accepted? Can't be accepted, right? So this was the reason actually that this theory, the octet rule theory given by the Kosel and Lewis, actually failed. But still he just made an attempt. So we salute to Lewis and Kosel because they actually made an attempt to explain few things, and you can say they tried and they were successful also, because after studying this thing we get to see certain kind of things, we learn certain things, right? But still this theory faced many drawbacks. So we'll move on to the next theory. Before we do that, there are certain factors, the bond parameters or the factors that favors the ionic bond formation. We'll be discussing that, right? So just write these Lewis structures are very important, right? So just try to sum up these rules and try to write like many Lewis structures. As I told you an example for 2, you can do it for many, right? So just note down the molecules and try to draw them in your copies.